Last time on Tarkadia Rising. You guys wake up, all 6 of you in the camp.
Fuck, it's a dwarf.
Yeah.
Oh, we only have one dwarf, and we're like, wait, there should be a second dwarf. Gotcha. Okay.
We're all like, we have the one dwarf. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait, there should be 2. There's a distinct lack of dwarfs. We have half as many dwarfs as we had before.
Something very large, marble-esque, clean white stone, almost untouched by time, turns the corner of the canopy. Its head is almost to the top of the trees, which is very, very high up. It turns the corner, and it has almost a dog-like face, as it's locked dead center onto you.
Ah, shit.
Hey, giant dog boy, hold on. We're with Razden.
Hello, you have reached Razden's transmutational communications device. I can't come to the earring right now, as I am busy doing very interesting things. Please leave a message and I'll get to you as soon as I can. Bye! And the important part is a caged area, but about half of the cage is underwater and half the cage is above water.
Alright, so I'll climb up onto the dock, pull out my scimitar, and I want to charge this guy and tackle him off the stairs.
Oh, nice. It's gonna be a no
stairs.
from me, frog.
Welcome back to Tarkadia Rising. We just had an interesting conversation, so everybody's like, It'll be in the end. So you have to go through the 2-hour session to find out what was so funny. Like, comment, subscribe.
Smash.
Unfortunately, Eileen cannot make it this week, so she will be on autopilot. I'm gonna put Alex in charge because she's your responsibility.
And I have her character sheet, but I've never played.
Yeah, because you have her character sheet.
What if he plays?
It's hard enough
a
to play
barbarian,
a wizard.
and he's like, "Oh shit,
I know, right?
I want to play a barbarian now," and he's like, "Fuck this wizard! I don't want to be this wizard anymore."
He just like transitions. Just
Yeah.
like, this is amazing.
He
I
can
don't
dual
have
class barbarian wizard, barb wizard.
He uses like some ultimate magic that he can only use once, and then it gets rid of all of his other magical powers. But in exchange, he becomes super goddamn buff.
Right.
I could just find Jesus and become a paladin.
I mean, this is true.
They're champions in 2E, so
I see.
and they are the worst class in the game. Anyways, shouldn't have ate a Cheeto when I'm trying to explain what happened last time, and now my throat's on fire. So we're gonna roll with this.
Cheeto, no.
The group was hunting for the first obelisk. They were told that there were clues onto what the intention of the island is, and the group, along with Campter, headed out. As you guys were exploring, you came across the sentries for the first time, and you had to escape, and you did a good job escaping them. No one got captured, no one died. Good job. And then you found out that Wayne's character was captured by Bogards. That was actually, you went to go find him after looking for the, he got captured overnight between sessions, and
That's right.
so now you're going into the Bogard camp to rescue him. There was a lot of combat. Things included, you knocked one into the water after a failed grapple check. You guys murdered a couple. You kept punishing one inside of that hut, and you just kept kicking him back in there until you shanked him to death. So, a lot of combat.
A brutal day I missed.
Yeah, it was brutal.
I charged up.
Somebody
the
got
stairs and
captured.
hugged one. You hugged one? Not on purpose. I was trying to tackle him into the water and I failed completely.
So,
I'm sure he enjoyed it. Yeah. Win-win.
The gentle caress.
Yeah.
hello.
Sorry.
I am Grr.
Grr. Oh, thank you for pronouncing it right.
You know how many times
Wait,
you...
him or me? Was my grrr the pronoun?
No, he was
Okay.
He's talking to me.
Only my wife can call me Grr. So that's where you guys are actually heading up the stairs into the second floor of the hut, and we are going to commence with. I think you were in the lead when that happened.
Wait, did I take a picture of that?
Yeah.
I hope I took.
We won't need the map for this part.
Okay.
Oh, God.
So
Fuck it then.
Whoa.
you come up to the second floor. It's got a. Actually, there's 3 floors, but you guys are heading up to the second floor. There's a ring, and then kind of like a ring, and then there's another staircase that leads up to the 3rd floor, kind of the same out. And then you can go in through the front area that's facing kind of out and go into the little thing. So there's like some grass, kind of like beaded curtain for some privacy.
Is this a frog sex room?
It's called the Croak Room.
It's the Krogan show.
Well, this is just a giant brothel. No, I'm kidding. Demonetized. So
Sorry, be joke aside.
that's what you see in front of you. You do hear kind of like some light croaking coming from inside of the room.
Done.
Gnats.
Got him!
You hear some slight croaking coming from inside of the room, and it's pretty dark since there's no light sources.
There's
What
light
do you-
croaking coming from inside.
Just light croaking. It is a sex room.
Yeah, it's not like. It
Why do
doesn't,
you
like,
corrupt my things?
it's getting croakier. It's,
Or you're taking point.
I guess so. So I was following that guy. I guess I just follow him in there. And says, or say it's dark,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll stop, try and get my bearings. Can I see anything?
Go ahead and roll a perception for me, good sir.
Hey, do we have figurines?
We don't need them, but
7.
it's dark. You do see some shadowy figures on the left or right side, kind of in the corner. They look to be crouching. You cannot tell intent.
Oh, I think I was camped right.
Oh, yeah. Hi.
What do you do? Hi, kitty.
Okay, so how far is everyone behind me?
They kind of like are all on the kind of like roundabout.
Okay, I'll take a step back since I can't see well enough and wait for everyone to catch up with me so we can go in together.
Not much in the way of.
Wait, so
lighting up in
I
there.
forget, the sentry or the sentinel encounter was like the day before?
It was
Right?
earlier in the day.
Early in the day. Okay, but we took like a rest and we woke up and he was gone.
So that was my apologies.
Earlier in the day?
So you guys were at the campsite where you found the old mayor. In that night, they stole him off.
Okay,
and
so
then
that
you
was
woke
before
up.
the sentinel.
Yeah, and then the
encounter.
sentinel, and then the camp.
Okay.
I got it reversed because I forgot about the.
I was just trying to take it into account as far as, oh wait, but there's no time here. So, okay, never mind. I was trying to think like how long it had been just since I had used my once a day earring thing, but yes, never
Yeah,
mind.
that was.
It would have been.
Does that make like all of that stuff like
So
low, or
I will give you this. 24 hours have passed since you tried to flick the earring, and oh no, you tried to no. What'd
So
you
I
do?
tried to understand the sentinel, but it was indeed Draconic, which is the only language that it does not understand.
Right. True.
But I found out that it acts as like a weird walkie-talkie thing with.
Right.
I don't know if that was just like supposed to be jokey, or if like I can literally like communicate with Razden with the earring whenever I want.
He left you a message.
That's right. Oh yeah, that's right. It was voicemail.
He
It
has
was
a really
voicemail.
shitty
It was
voicemail.
a really shitty voicemail. Okay, cool.
Because Hip in the 90s was like,
But I can leave him voicemail through my earring. Gotcha.
but good,
Okay.
yeah. So, it has not been a 24-hour period in which you could reactivate your stuff. I will let you know when that happens.
Cool. All right.
Same goes for everybody else's special trinkets.
I still need to write down what mine does.
You've got a
Ring of
like
Mix Master. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
quite remember.
So when you
basically
make
can, like,
a,
do
you can
it
flip
at the
a
same
coin,
time, right?
and if you, I think it was like flip head, or no, his is the coin. I think if you roll, it's a 60% chance that if you make a potion, you get to make an extra one for free.
That's right.
And then so
his
you
is
would get
the, yeah. And then
his is
the
like if
coin
he
where
fucks up the spell.
Spell type.
Yeah. Yours is the talkie thing. Eileen's the Arband of Raging. I'm still working on trying to find a way to get you one without it being super bullshit, like a care package floating down from the sky, because they're all story related. So
Yeah.
That's alright.
I mean, like,
We'll get there.
yeah. I feel like sequence of events wise, if you want to like give it to him before we meet up with Razden again, or if you want to like find some
It
way
doesn't make sense.
find some way for him to
If
get
I-
it before we meet up with Razden.
I thought about it. If I did it now, it would be such a bullshitty DM thing. It's just like, I'm Razden, I know everything. Ooh, I am an edgelord. Like, I
Or
don't
maybe
want-
he
I
just
love
like
how your Razden voice is Magic Man, just like
magic.
magic. I
Burn.
saw this coming 3 3 weeks ago.
Now he's just like, what is he, Top Cat? Or Snagglepuss, one of those.
With the exits.
Yes. Now I can't fucking do it right. Alright, continuing on. The shadowy figures to the left and right of you are not moving. They're kind of actually kind of just staying still. There is another kind of entryway, like kind of like the room is separated in half. So the first half of the room, there's a wall, and then there's another doorway. There seems to be some light flames coming out from inside of that room.
Have they caught up yet?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a perception check as well.
Can't-
Let me take a look.
Camper should heal me.
Yeah, he should. It's to be a 14
You
to
say to
perception.
Camp.
Camper should heal me.
I need the heals.
He just gives you he gives you a very stern look, and then you just kind of
But this way since I don't have my fucking book.
roll a d6. I can't find my dice. Where do they go? I think they're behind you, Wayne.
Don't
Your dice bag.
Don't roll a Cheeto.
Oh yeah, there's lots of dice.
Don't roll a Cheeto.
Is it a D6 plus?
It's just a d6 worth of health.
It would not be Nito if we were to roll a Cheeto.
Very Rito.
You got 2 health.
There you go. And he says, happy. And then he kind of like, he's like, now you can go through the door now.
Okay.
Did my 14 perception tell me anything else about the
Oh,
room?
I'm sorry. He distracted me.
Oh, you're...
You're 14. You notice that there looks to be female Bogard huddled up with some children at the top. They're kind of cowering on each side. They're afraid. They don't look like they want to engage. They don't have any weapons visible.
We see much.
It's the women and children.
Okay, we'll just keep moving.
Yeah.
Was there stairs?
Don't be alarmed, folks. We mean no harm. We're not here to hurt you. We're just here for our friend. You don't know where our friend might be? He's got a... Hey, cool.
Yeah,
Thank
they're
you very
pointing
much.
towards the door.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and I'll sort of like cautiously, but yeah, like I'm gonna have like a sword out, but I'm not gonna be like threatening any of them. I'm just gonna sort of be like, just in case somebody decides to try to jump out at me with a dagger or something.
Okay. So, are you going to go through?
Yeah, I think I'm doing
Alright, so you part the curtains. You come across what looks to be a throne. In front of the throne is a Bogard's head on a stick, and it looks like the neck down has been melted. There is a shadowy figure covered in immaculate looking jaguar or tiger. I can't remember what kind of cat animal I said was here. Covering his shoulders. He's wearing a crown on his head, and he also has a strap across his chest with a bunch of bottles.
These tigers.
Bottles?
Bottles.
What kind of bottles?
Alchemical.
Huh.
Is it a dwarven figure?
Is it a dwarven figure?
Come hither!
Excuse me? What?
What? Who comes into my chamber?
Pfeiffer? Is that you?
Hey, come closer, into the light.
You've got dark vision. What are you talking about?
Into the lights! Kneel!
I put my sword away and I just walk up to him and just be like, where the hell have you been?
You must be more respectful of the throne.
Is there an insight check in this? God,
We're worried about you, little one.
what is the insight
Why
check?
would you be worried? I am king here. I am
Disappeared
God.
in the middle of the night.
Wait, Pfeiffer. Is that your harem back there?
With the children?
No! No!
Oh no!
God, Pfeiffer, no! I'm just saying.
That's where...
You got some froggy fever, Pfeiffer?
No, only no.
Okay, I mean, no judging, no judging.
No, I would never.
Okay, that's fair.
Does he
Fine.
seem okay?
Well, what are you doing here, Pfeiffer?
Seems fine, no injury.
I this is my home now.
What did you do? How did you get... we thought you were kidnapped.
Is everybody else out of the room? Like, are there any other?
Yeah. So it's just you guys right now.
All right.
Encampter and...
I'm gonna be real with you guys. I slipped the old king a little bit of elixir of alchemist fire, bottle of lightning. Kind of mix some
This
shit up.
Sep, the guy on the pike.
Wait, do I have?
Yeah, he just sees a stick.
It's on. It's like that's your throne. That's your scepter.
He's just, I don't even know how to describe it. Mouth exploded. There's this beautiful kind of like new mural on the wall of frog guts. They saw something in the god, or I don't know, but.
And now the women and children sit in the same room and cower before you.
I didn't tell them to.
Camper turns to you. He's like, I think they're cowering at us.
So.
Yeah, that was my impression too. Was
Wait,
that they
wait,
didn't want
did
us
you
to kill
kill
them.
a bunch?
Oh yeah, we killed everybody outside. The women and children we left because they were in here. We didn't do anything, but yeah, we were trying to rescue you, and we killed everybody because we thought they were gonna eat you or something.
So all I have now to roll is the.
I mean, that's why I was like, oh, has he got the froggy fever? I didn't know because I was just like, what's he doing here?
I thought I still had an army of frog men. Alright.
Well, if we I don't know, if we had known that you were alive, I guess we would have tried diplomacy or something, but we just
You
automatically.
didn't see my signs?
No.
No.
Did you even like check behind things at all?
No.
All your stuff was gone.
Yeah, all your stuff was gone.
Alright. Alright.
I'm sure at least a couple of them got away.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at least a few of them got away. And you got all the women and children.
I mean, what are they gonna think when I walk out of here with you? Nah. Alright.
Plus, these are frogs, so like, we'd say we killed all the men, but they could change at any second.
This is true.
Life finds a way.
Life finds
Life
a way.
finds a way.
Yeah, I think that requires alternate climate change and things like that. And everything's the same here. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I mean, if you want to stay here, we're not gonna like force you to.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Are
I'm
you-
done. I'm taking this fancy king scepter, and maybe I'll keep the crown. Probably sell it. Maybe if we ever
Looks
get
good
off
on you.
this island.
I mean, yeah, it looks good.
Are you sure? We just want you to be happy.
Piper, do they understand this?
I told them to leave the room.
So she bows profusely, and then she kind of holds up like some sort of like sack offering, and she kind of like holds it to you, and then bows, and then kind of leaves the room. It's kind of like it's about the size of a baseball inside of a. kinda
Peer
like
into it.
Inside of it is a large emerald in kind of the shape of. I kind of want to say like a gusher, where it's.
So it's
No,
not a
don't-
princess cut.
No, it's not like a diamond. It looks like the shape of gushers or like an octagon.
Yeah.
But it's not like flat, but it's not like super round. It's just kind of like this.
Gushers
Nice.
are octagons?
I don't know. Shapes are
I'm
hard.
pretty
I
sure.
think they're
I thought-
six-sided.
Oh yeah, that might be hex.
Are they?
They're six-
I all at once.
identical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gushers are-
Okay,
Yeah,
I gotta
sure.
clarify. It's an individual gusher and not like a full pack of
Yeah,
gushers
yeah,
like
yeah,
put
yeah.
together. So
Yeah,
it's not like.
you-
It's one gigantic green gusher.
thought we left it out in the sun or in the car.
Oh. So they hand that to you and they kind of bow, and you can kind of tell that like they're packing up their stuff and they're leaving.
Huh?
I mean, they can stay here. This is their home, right?
No, this is my home. They're just,
Again, if you want to
This is
stay,
their rent.
we're not gonna force you to come with us.
Pfeiffer, you know we have to leave this place, right?
I don't want to stay in this eternal sunset anymore. This
we
was
have to
just
go
like
back, Kate.
It's gotta go back. So you could just give them their home back, right? Make one of them queen or something. I don't know.
Well, why? I mean, they were okay.
Reign in the matriarchy, man. Just
Were they like
choose
me?
someone.
Like, okay. How did they handle you guys? Like, what were they like?
I mean, the
were they
women and
cool?
children didn't touch us. They were like kind of terrified of us because we literally killed everybody else.
So we
We think
make
we
one
killed everybody
queen.
else.
We go through. We kill all the men.
I-
Right?
Wait, this is escalating.
Oh yeah, I don't think we need to kill anymore.
I thought that's what you were proposing.
No, we already did
No,
that.
I was saying point a finger at someone and make them the queen.
Yeah, just be like, hey, you're in charge now. Peace.
All right. I signal to have like the like six frog women come in.
That's the weirdest thing.
All right.
It's not as bad as the time that I had a one night stand with Cameron's character, and I, to fuck with him, ended up having her get pregnant just to fuck with him.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
By about
Moncho
the
hasn't fucked anybody yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we did have that whole conversation about goblin. So.
I'm glad everyone's not here for this. She'd be like creeped out the whole time, like, oh my god.
We've done weirder shit in other campaigns.
Bring him in.
So they come in, they line up, they kind of like bow.
All right. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a froggy. This one right here, second.
And the other ones are pull out knives and start turning to her, like ready to kill her.
Nope.
Oh, just like
Yes, I like toss her the crown.
put the crown on her.
I take the emerald.
and they all bow to her, and they they take the stick away from you, and then give it to her, and they start shooting you all out.
Not the stick.
And they all pull out the knives again. Okay.
I'll just like just back out the door.
Yeah, we slowly just like bow and leave.
You're
So-
all very strange little creatures.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you haven't seen dwarves. We're just trying to get this thing.
No, I mean the frogs.
Oh,
Oh,
you're just
yeah.
being rather
Yeah.
forthright with them. I see.
Yeah.
I can respect that, I guess, to a point until you're just killed.
Croak, croak.
Croak, 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 croak.
You all just like pull out your necks and try to just inflate. So you guys kind of head out. You can see them like picking up the bodies and kind of like dragging them into like that long area in front of the crops, which is their nursing area where they're tossing the bodies into there, and you can kind of see like little tadpoles eating the bodies and
Jesus.
cannibalism. It's horrible.
This is a fishing.
Fish?
Hey,
They're
with the
amphibians,
knife.
bitch.
Amphibian.
Amphibians. Yeah, that's what you were gonna say.
Anyways, so Kemper's like, well, should we head towards the obelisk?
Yes, let's.
Okay. So, you guys are relatively safe throughout your journey. You kind of get some close calls, you hear some footsteps, and you guys learn to hide. Then some mosquitoes kind of buzzing around. But after about 2 hours of walking, through mud, through heavy vines, you come across a clearing with a large stone obelisk in the center of the room, like the center of ruins. Not a room because it's in the middle of the open. There are you can tell that there were some engravings, but due to wear and tear of weather over time, it looks to be very slick. The point has kind of turned from a very sharp pointed obelisk to a very kind of like rounded. You can tell that there was still a top to it, but over time it is kind of fading. You
No,
see,
it really looks like a big dick.
it's sitting inside of a very ornate kind of pillar, like kind of Aztec pillar, stared off. It's not too hard of a climb for short people. There's some stairs.
Use you.
I have to keep in mind that all of you are very tiny, so if I make really large,
Yeah.
and he's not going to just get one of those red wagons, put you in the center, and roll you up. Like,
I mean, you can put me in one of those like hiking baby backpacks.
Yeah, like
I fit
one,
one of
like one
those.
in the front, one in the back, and
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
shoulders.
Get a Bjorn on the front, and then like the hiking backpack with the little canopy on the back. You can take us two at a time.
I got happy.
but does he want to?
This is a good point.
I can carry at least one of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Not
fine.
us.
And then two of us
We're
can
like
grab
just-
onto
we're
his
like
legs.
a little over half your height.
Oh,
This
yeah.
dense little
Yeah.
dwarf.
And weigh equally, or at least twice yours.
So it's a very beautiful sight along with the ever sunset. It is very kind of like idyllic. Like you got the beautiful forest, this old stone ruins and relics of the past, and leading up to it is just a pathway. You can tell that people just kind of steer clear of this area. There isn't any like camps, base camps, anything like that, and you can kind of head towards the
Is anyone or anything moving around it?
perception. I don't know why.
That's the new
I
hand
assume-
signal for perception.
Look
Just
around.
like
Roll it out.
17.
You do not hear any of the stone giants or the gargoyles. The sentries seem to be far away. There isn't any recent trails leading down from any like kind of foliage that you see. It's relatively untouched. No animal tracks. No, really anything. A lot of things look to stay clear of this area, and Camter kind of
Looks
as
like
I said,
nothing comes through here, gang.
Yep. This is the closest I've been to one of these. This is strange. I'm getting a bad vibe. Anybody else feel like
Speaking of which,
I feel
I'm gonna
great. I
detect
feel like a
magic.
king.
there's something on the winds? You're too far away to kind of to sense it, but old lingering magic kind of floating in the area.
Touch it.
Let's
Touch the.
take baby steps here.
Go touch it.
They're like logs or rocks or anything near us. Like
No,
on the
it's
edge.
just clear, like kind of tall grass, but no like rocks or logs or anything. It's like almost like a perfectly cut circle around this thing.
Anyone have anything we can just throw in there?
There's-
Just like see
It's a bit of a decent walk to get down to this thing. This thing's
Okay.
massive, because you could see it from like the base camp, and so you
Yeah.
can kind of see that the clearing plus the large
I
obelisk,
see.
and there's like several of them peppered throughout the.
How far is it from the foot of from the edge of the clearing to the obelisk itself?
I'd say half a mile.
Half a mile.
Jesus.
Okay.
Okay. That.
Okay.
Good.
So it's like walking onto the like the
I thought
National
it was like
Mall.
very close.
So it's like,
Yeah.
walking on the
Half a
National Mall and
mile.
seeing the Washington Monument like
see.
a half a mile away.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
makes
Let's
sense.
move a little closer.
Into the
We
middle
take
of
5
the
steps.
clearing. That's
Pitfall trip. No.
Do we feel any different after 5 steps?
No, Sergeant Snuggles walk about 5 feet.
so it's just clearing. Is it just grass?
Yeah, I
clearing?
said nothing.
Nothing.
Not even
Yeah.
Froggy's
Totally
footsteps.
Okay.
We're not in
just
the
straight up
jungle
grass.
anymore.
No.
Okay.
Oh wait, no. Like,
No,
say
so-
the jungle around the clear.
I'm
Yeah,
imagining,
jungle
like-
around the clearing. The clearing itself.
So think of like a perfect circle
Mhm.
that's just cut out of this thick jungle. In the center is a large, like kind
I
of
see.
Washington monument, almost like weathered down by time, on top of an Aztec statue, and just kind of just goes way up into the sky.
It's like,
Oh, I
is
see.
it like is
It's
it
like
grass?
jungle, grass. Oh,
Yeah.
Somebody like mowing it? Is it?
You don't know.
How tall is
Maybe
grass?
It's about to knee height. So
Okay.
About,
I'm sorry. On a normal person, it's about knee height,
yeah, so that's probably about like halfway up us.
Yeah. but it's not like half movement or anything like
So we
that.
like sent like I listen for raptors.
Raptors, specifically.
You don't want to go into tall grass.
Yeah. Just like
It's a Pokemon.
clever.
Go ahead and say what you're about to
Oh, is this the monument we're looking for?
say. Looks to be roughly about where we pointed it out from on top of the base camp.
There's only the one, isn't there?
There's multiple.
Oh,
You
well,
can see multiple, but this is the closest.
Yeah. Well, I can't really say much about its magic since we get close, so.
Well, let's get a little bit
Let's keep
closer.
moving.
Lead the way.
I'll take point, but I'll have Sergeant Snuggles like 15 feet ahead.
Okay.
Magic sensing hands
Uh,
as you walk.
You feel like this grass has almost been untouched for a long time. It's very thick, but like parts ways. You also notice that the ground underneath your feet seems to be old, kind of like cobblestone. Very nice stone that was cut and laid in this area, but the grass seems to be coming through, so that's why it's not like as tall as other areas. Like the stone has kept the area from being kind of consumed by.
I see.
Yeah.
So.
Indeed.
Are they like, is it still like really well like padded down, or is it like some of it has been sprouted up?
Surprisingly well crafted. Yeah, it's very padded down, but there's enough grass to kind of cover the plains and stuff like that. But it's not like cracks and stuff like that. Like very hard stone that stands the test of time.
Okay.
Can I go around through the crevices or whatever?
So it takes you a little bit of time. No real issues, nothing popping out. And you get to the base of it, and you kind of feel the humming is still there. It feels like there has been so much magic in this area for a long time, and then it's just lingering. Like it's old magic. It's potent. It's no longer active, but you could tell something was done here.
There's something here, but it's not anything like, I don't know how to phrase that. Specific, just like it's all clearly a magical item. It's been here a long time.
It's not like
Think like
there's like a spell being cast here, and it's more like shit's magic, yo.
think like a hot iron that is just like fading for a long, long time.
Hmm.
Okay.
Does time seem any different here? Like I don't know. Like
Is it still the same sun?
You just all look up, and it's like, nope.
it's the same sun.
What time is it?
Yeah.
He almost
Actually-
did it. He almost did it.
Is there a shadow being cast by the obelisk?
Yes.
Oh.
There is a shadow being cast from a light source that you feel like isn't really there. If you watch it, do a perception for me.
It's
19.
not bad. Yeah.
You guys watch the shadow for a little bit of time, and you notice that, like most like large statues, the shadow is moving with a light source that you can't see.
Around the obelisk or on the ground?
So you got the obelisk, and then you got like the shadow. It's kind of
Okay.
moving.
Do you point that out?
Yeah. I'm gonna be like,
Hey guys, I think if for being in a place where there's no time, there seems to be at least a shadow and the sun seems to be moving, so I mean if that is the sun, I don't know. There's shadows moving, you know. Time is happening, but we just can't see it, I guess.
Shadow demon?
I don't know. I mean also, where's the goddamn sun?
Yeah.
I see a shadow, but I don't see a goddamn sun.
Yeah,
It's
zoom
over
in
there
in the
somewhere.
sky, opposite the shadow.
so yeah, like I'm gonna like try to like see the shadow and like try to find out where the sun is.
Yeah,
Do I just not see
it's
anything?
Like any other sunset, like just kind of no direct visible solar body.
I like start. I guess I go back to the outskirts of the circle and start to like look on the ground to see if there's any symbols or any sort of like points of interest that kind of like look like something besides just regular cobblestone or whatever.
So you roll a perception for me, please. So you're searching on the outskirts.
14.
You do find on the like kind of in some brush and stuff like that, kind of before the clearing, you see what looks to be almost like two clamps of metal attached to a rotting board. It's about like this big, and then the board kind of like comes down and it's rotting. When you flip it over, you see some more of that like draconic writing that you've seen in the past, and you kind of see a symbol, what looks like a wagon.
Red wagon we have.
Callback.
Okay. Like a wagon?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's symbols of a wagon, or it's
Like it looks like when you look at a tavern board, like a tavern sign, and you know they have like the symbolage for people who can't read, you can know that that's an inn. That's like it's one of those, but it's one you don't recognize. But you can kind of identify like this is some sort of like wagon trail or something like that. And it's just an old sign that's been lingering in the jungle.
Right next to the obelisk?
on the outskirts.
Not on the
outskirts.
outskirts, like in the jungle area.
Alright, I let everybody know, and I kind of continue my kind of search around the border.
I'm gonna while he's doing that, I'm also gonna I'm going to follow the shadow. In that, I'm going to see how far out the shadow from the base of the obelisk the shadow goes. And I'm going to sort of like try to get a feeling for like how quick is this moving? Is there like anything that I'm noticing on the ground as I'm following the shadow that, like, if he was looking for symbols of any kind, am I noticing anything while I'm following in the shadow of the obelisk?
So you can tell that it's not like a timepiece.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of following traditional shadow fit like.
So it's not like a sundial?
No, it's not a sundial.
Yeah.
You can tell that it is like expanding and stretching as like the day progresses. It's moving along with it. So it's like if you were in the middle of a town square, there's an obelisk, and lights just kind of you're just watching the town, sundial, like not sundial, but
Just watching the
shadows
shadows.
move. Yeah.
Okay.
Are there any discernible anything legible on the obelisk anymore?
So it was all on the obelisk.
Go ahead, because there's no like dungeoneering or anything like that.
Yeah.
And this check is more. Yeah. Where'd it go?
9.
9. You run your hand across like the stone. You can kind of feel some indents, but you can't tell if it's any writing or if it's just wear and tear on the stone. And you kind of circle around the base of the obelisk and kind of down the little pedestals and stuff as well.
How tall is the obelisk?
hundreds and hundreds of feet, I'm guessing.
Yeah, 100. I want to say like 10 stories.
Okay.
It's a very
like
large.
800.
Has anybody? No, man, I don't want to.
Has anybody
what are
done
you
this
doing?
thing to search for this clue that I have?
Looking around. This feels like civilization, so I don't like it very much. But seeing as there's no animals here, I'm just kind of keeping an eye on everyone. Watching Muncho chase shadows.
Monko, no! He's like a cat, like chasing like a fly, just pouncing on the shadow. Damn it!
It looks like mostly wear and tear on the stone. It's not like dirt or anything.
I forget, did you do a detect magic on this?
I do.
Just in general?
As you came in, it was just like that it just generally gives off magic.
Okay.
I do a nature check, I guess, to see how long the place has been without animals
Sure.
and people. I'm like, how long did grass would take to grow this long?
It's like the stat you're good at, and
Yeah.
that's
I good at
6.
nature. That grass.
6.
You can't tell because of how pristine everything has been. It's unnaturally like kind of uniform, and you can tell that nothing's coming here to eat anything. Grass is still at a fine point at the top. Not even a bug has come to feed on the grass. Like,
Not even a bug.
This place is unnatural.
Oh shit.
Nothing.
Is there any sort of like mechanism or lever or anything around the obelisk?
I need you to do another perception check for me, please.
Oh, that's right. There's not investigation. God.
I know.
I think in 5e, so it's like it's hard to. Oh wow. That's like a 23.
As you're doing your kind of preliminary circle around the base of the obelisk, you come across a section that seems to be slightly indented on one side of the staircase. So everything's kind of uniform. It's got like down, 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 down. But this, it's like it's like coming down on the inside a little bit.
How big?
It's a very, very minute, kind of like half an inch, kind of like very small, but your investigation, you pick up like, that shouldn't be off center, that doesn't make sense.
Hey, good. Come here. And I'm gonna prestidigitation, clear all the dust out of
Yep.
that spot I see.
So with a nice gust of wind, you kind of blow it up each side of the thing. You can definitely tell that there is, these stairs are intended to go down.
Obviously some stairs. Can we find a way to get this open?
Like jump on top of it. I like go run over and be like, and try to like jump on it, see if anything happens.
It does kind of shake a bit, but it kind of gives and pops back.
Okay. Hey, Thaddy, come over here and help me jump on this.
Hey! Oh, him. Yeah, go
Oh.
for it.
Alright, sorry. I mean,
All
you can
right.
be the fatty too.
I think what Munch was trying to imply is we just need more weight. So everyone kind of like carefully step on this and see if we can get
Yeah,
this
what you
Yeah.
said.
All right, step up on it.
And it does. It kind of that jumping on it, it stuck a little bit, but it needs a little bit more oomph.
With all of us?
I have a question, but that I can't ask that.
Ask it,
No, it's
and I can deny you.
it's a
So I can
it's
deny
a
you.
player question, not a character question.
I have a
You
player.
are a
actually-
player, aren't you?
I have a player question. Has anybody actually had one that tastes like zombie?
Yes.
Is it bad?
It's meh. If you just eat it by the handful, you don't even notice.
Okay.
Do it, coward. For those that don't know, Skittles has a Halloween candy that tastes like
Tastes like blood.
zombie flesh. 1 in 6 of them.
1 in 6? Oh,
So you
Yeah.
can get a fine. I've eaten 2 of them, so it's not like I haven't subjected myself to this pain and
Is it a
terror.
random color too? You don't know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
that was good.
It's a good one.
There was no like mechanism. It was just that. I
Yeah.
found.
It was like stuck on.
And with all of us on there, it's still not enough.
Yeah.
So it's like a hinge in the middle or on the side?
It's like a center hinge that pulls out. It feels like because it's so.
Whoa.
You got the staircase that you're on, and it's going downwards. It feels like it pulls back this way.
Okay.
So I can push on it.
So jumping on it kind of is doing that. Yeah.
Let's give it a push game.
Brace myself and push.
I keep saying game.
hard
I
as I can.
I'm
Strength
just like,
check.
all right, Freddy. Like,
I was gonna say it's like it's turning into Scooby Doo here.
12.
ruh-roh.
It's starting to move. Camper braces on to two big guys.
Mhm.
I assume Grizz because she's your muscle
Beef.
also helps out. And you guys are able to push the staircase inwards, revealing a ramp leading down underneath into the center of this ziggurat almost. It is very dark.
It's a ziggurat.
What's a ziggurat?
Like
Yeah,
total
yeah.
dark.
Total dark, yeah.
Does anyone have light?
We have low light vision.
Grizz had a light, right? He had a lantern when we were walking through the forest initially.
I've got
I mean,
I
is
never
it dark
thought-
enough that
I've got a
like
tinder twig.
even everybody with low light vision needs a torch?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've got
Unnaturally dark in this cabin.
Unnaturally
I
dark.
strike one of my tinder twigs.
Hi, cat.
You mean a match?
It's a tinder twig I created
fantasy
through
match.
alchemical processes.
Fantasy elevators.
My scoop paper. You mean toilet paper?
Oh,
Scoops the feces away.
Scooping makes it sound so much worse.
But watching Disenchanted, and they go to like the Steam, like Steam World or whatever, and she's like calls it something right. It's like, oh, that's the Flooferdarfen. You're like, yeah.
We binged that so fast. We watched that in like one night almost.
The second season's better than the first season, but it's still kind of eh.
It's kind of.
It's enjoyable to watch. But anyways, as you guys are progressing into the inside of it, you can tell it's a straight shot directly underneath the top of the obelisk, and on the inside is a circular ring area with what looks like a pedestal, and in the pedestal there is a socketed section about the size of a baseball.
So
What else do we have that's the size of a baseball?
Hey. Give me that gusher.
Giant emerald.
No! It's not the size. That's the size of a gusher.
hold it
Nice.
up and at least see if it would work.
Wait, oh, like kind of like.
You kind of wave it around. Are you just like willy-nilly going, woo?
Yeah, I'm not trying to get rid of this emerald.
Ah, well that sucks because like a magnet, it sucks into the socket, extends upwards, starts spinning, and
My
you can-
finger.
almost like a turbine. It's starting to rotate. That magical pressure you felt, you can tell that it's rushing outwards into this location, and it's being channeled through these kind of like magical like conduits on the floor and like runes on the, and so it's kind of like whirring up. There's not lights or anything. You just hear it, and then you just hear kind of like this, like you hear this loud kind of like sound barrier thump on the outside, shakes the kind of the room. Dust is coming from the ceiling, a lot of shaking, a lot of vibrating, and then it kind of like normalizes out. You hear the spinning of the thing, and it's dark outside.
Well,
It's dark outside.
Guys,
that
we
happened.
might not have a town, or we might not have the same people when we leave.
Oh shit, we found the nighttime gem. Nice.
Nighttime tray was green. Can we take
But it turned at night.
Green like do it again?
If he made it,
It's spinning so fast you wouldn't be able to.
Oh, it's just going.
It's just like rocking out, and it's a little.
I'm just like grabbing it and just like spinning it.
the stairs were pushed in when we were in here.
Yep.
And it's nighttime.
Mhm.
As we could feel, or I could feel the magic moving into it. What was happening during that? Was it just like suddenly dark, or was it like day night, day night, day night, day night, day night, day night, day night?
It just kind of like darkened on the outside.
Mm.
It's pitch black.
Okay. And we can't interact with this thing anymore. It is night, and that is all we can do about it.
Yep.
Okay.
There's nothing else in the room.
No, just you guys.
Answer.
That's not me.
It is you.
What?
Oh.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Razden? Wait, hold on.
Muncho.
I adjust my ears.
And,
Wait, hold on. Alright, I got you. Razden, you there?
I'm here. Where did you go? I lost track of you, and I was hoping my earring could get a hold of you. And they got this weird staticky message and something about a statue, and then you went away.
Yeah, it's nighttime.
Yeah,
It wasn't nighttime before. It was like sunset for like 5 days. I don't know. There's no time here. Well, I don't know where we are.
Put someone more competent on the phone. Just
I don't
want to
take my earring off.
Just have him touch the ear. Just put someone else on the phone.
I don't know. It seems kind of weird. That's like a sensitive part for me. I don't want them touching my ears.
Rabbit. Hello?
Hello? Who's this?
Who are you?
Who's? Why are you grabbing my goblin?
This is grrr.
I know it's very central for you to get your ear rubbed, but now is not the time. Who's on the earpiece?
His name is Grrr.
My name is Grr.
Grrr. Yes,
not
sorry.
Grrr.
That's just my pet name for you. Don't worry about it.
As I wink and let him rub my ear some more.
Squeeze tighter.
Please stop. He's getting warmer, and I can feel it on my earpiece. This is very disgusting right now, and a little arousing, and this is just not okay.
I don't understand what's going on.
I'm Razden. I am their little. Swear to God, if you interrupt me again, I would just. Anyways, yes. They are not here in this reality. Where did they go?
We don't know. It's a place of constant sunset.
Island?
Moist,
Hot? Frogs?
jungle, strange
Help me out
There's
with that.
sentinels. There's sentinels. There's some obelisks.
Oh.
and one
The sentinels speak Draconic.
and
that
creepy
might-
lady who makes fun animal toys.
Yeah.
That seems fun. I wish I was with you. You said giant sentinels. Are you near an obelisk?
We're underneath it.
Very near.
Oh, shit.
What's up, Razzie?
Well, you see, and as soon as he starts saying that, you feel kind of that vibration again, and some clicking, like kind of like whirring, and then you hear a huge thump, not like the boom you heard originally, but like a just a dramatic like crack, and then you see the light kind of come back out in the hallway, and you just like.
Get the ready. You need to get the ready to come back.
And that's the last you hear of that, and then you hear "We're sorry, your magical device is not able to reach its pair. Please cast your Arcana spell again and talk to you later. Have a nice day."
1 star.
Alright.
Would you like to leave a survey or feedback on a survey?
Can we talk about how bad the zombie flavored Skittles are? Holy crap.
Yes,
I haven't
please.
got
Yeah,
one
I'm not
yet.
gonna even eat this because
It was the last 3 I had.
They were
Tastes
all shit.
No, they were all good except for the zombie ones. They taste like
They're regular Skittles mixed in with these. I don't know why they put them in. They put them in fun sizes. The funniest part to
well,
me.
so you're not gonna taste them like that. It's like tastes
I
like
know.
tastes like a bouillon.
I just want Skittles. I
It's
don't
like
want
it's like a
butt
bull-
Skittles.
It's a bouillon cube.
I
in
like
the-
pure.
It's like very savory
bouillon
and
cube.
like
Almost eggy.
I'll get one eventually.
Yeah.
I haven't yet.
I
Rotten
don't
egg.
even know. It's just not what you
Chemically.
want when you're looking for Skittles.
Yep.
I'll walk outside back into the sunlight, I guess.
All right.
Wait,
the
what
sun-
happened to
wait,
the emerald?
It's dark,
With the
right?
sun,
It just the thing kind of stopped.
with,
spinning.
with the sunlight again?
Uh,
Oh.
Like not dusk,
Stop
like
spinning.
actual daylight.
Can we grab it?
it's instead of being sunset, it's more closer to like 3 in the afternoon.
So, what was the what message he was trying to tell us? I know you were purposely leaving out some words, but
We have to get something ready.
have to get something ready to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's about all I got.
Obelisk, something ready, come back. Essentially,
Can we grab the emerald?
it's still stuck in there.
I try hard.
Pull harder.
Use a strength check for me, please.
numbers.
Oh.
Ooh, that's a 22.
Oh, he's so strong.
You got a good grip on it. You guys are pushing. You can feel the stone cracking, but the emerald on the inside is not budging. You feel like if you put more force against it, you're going to break the device.
Wait a minute.
Let's break the device.
You said there was multiple obelisks.
I did.
Maybe we just need to do this a bunch, which means we need to find.
There were no wagons outside, were there, when we came in here?
Only a
Wagons!
Yeah, I figured something like this might happen. I'm just gonna run outside with him.
Alright. So, perception for me, please.
Same.
God damn it. That's the second goddamn campaign.
Nat
and
20.
Time travel.
20. Ha! Double 20s.
So 23 total.
Doesn't even matter.
25 total.
I was blinded by the light.
Blinded by the light. Did you roll a 1?
No, not that bad.
It's gonna make you eat another Skittle.
20
God.
something, so.
I already am.
So you guys run out, and you notice that the time of day has changed. The grass is all gone. The beautiful stonework of this kind of like pavilion area is pristine, almost marble-like, but you know it's more like a cobblestone. Not a stain, not a divot. It's just smooth, almost glass-like. The sun is not reflecting off of it, which it probably could have blinded anybody in its heyday of just pure shininess. And you notice that there are wagons just scattered, almost like a bazaar. But the bizarre thing about it, no horses, no people, nothing.
Been saying it for years. These civilizations just pop up like weeds.
Yeah, because that's where we live.
We gotta move over
That's
to
where
one
I
of the
live.
wagons.
Maybe not you. Forest man.
Okay, now you're going to check inside, look around on the outside.
Outside first.
Okay. Wagon is in good shape, definitely road worn. The wagon wheels have its dents, it's got its scratches. The paint is starting to flake off on it due to sun damage. The painting on the outside of it looks to be a traveling salesperson. From what you can see on the kind of engravings and stuff, again, it's that draconic language, but there's also Dwarven. And in Dwarven, it says fine ales and goods. And then there's a second note in Draconic up into the corner with a picture of a knife in a dwarf's neck with a circle and an X out of it. Almost like, don't kill the dwarf. And then there's like a large like kind of thing of like characters and stuff on the side.
Yeah.
My uncle used to have one of these.
Or
He
anything
sadly
else.
took a knife to the neck.
Roll perception for me.
Jesus. 21.
You find the most beautiful sight any dwarf could ever see.
I forget over here.
Casks and casks
Ale.
of well-stored ale, and it seems that they're made freshly, in progress, freshly brewed. What is it? Aged barrels of just hard stouts, like everything you could possibly imagine. It looked like this was a wagon transporting and selling just on-the-go ale, and it's unattended and ready for.
You know, look around. Like, there's no one like out and around here.
No.
So there's a dwarf on the ground with a knife in his neck.
Any footsteps? Any layers of dust?
Right with a knife.
Maybe some road dust, but it looks like no one has come in or out.
Pint or two can't hurt.
Do we have cups, or are we just taking this from the tap?
You're the alchemist. Do you have any friggin-
Hold on. You're with an innkeeper, and he turns around his pack, and he puts down 6 mugs.
Nice!
I-
My man!
This is my man.
Six.
You, and you go check out these 3 wagons. I'm gonna go check this wagon back here. I think this is the best luck we've had in a long time.
Can I take the beer with me?
I'd be insulted if you didn't. Go.
Nice!
I need a koozie.
Don't get super drunk. You're the magic man. We need you.
He's a dwarf. It'll take a lot to get
Yeah, it
him
would take a lot.
He's already in the second one.
You know what they say about dwarves? It's true.
We'll start with you. Go and roll a perception check.
13.
You come across another wagon. It's well painted, just like the dwarven one. There's a sign, kind of like it almost looks like you can kind of put it together like a license almost. Kind of same kind of characters, but this, instead of having "Don't kill the dwarf" and stuff like that, you see signage for like kind of like goblins, orcs, and it looks like some sort of like sigil right next to it in bright red. And on the inside, you open it up, and you can see that this was kind of like a living quarters thing. There's a couple of cots, and there's kind of like some storage units for clothing. There's some clothing like kind of strewn out here. But the most interesting thing is that symbol that you saw on the outside is plastered on the far end of the wagon, kind of like where the window should be to talk to the carriage rider. And there is a mural. Okay, I was like, there's a mural of like this very stoic-looking kind of person with a face of kind of a lizard, and he's kind of sitting there, and in all languages that you can read, it says "All hail King Tarkees."
King Tarkees.
Is that what they decided to call me?
Is it Tarkees? I remember I had to retcon it. Yes, it's Tarkees. Tarkir was the original name. Tarkees is the new name. Okay. Tarkees.
Looks like some
I don't
sort
know
of
this
mobile
yet.
inn.
Sounds like turquoise. Turquoise.
Alright, we should probably like poke
the
around.
bar.
This will be here. Let's just fill up for the road, and I'm just gonna walk around and like go to the other ones and check them out as they're checking them out.
Yep. So you're coming across. There's your wagon. I should go to you next, or are you just not caring and just chugging?
I was told to go somewhere. I'm stumbling there.
I'm gonna count you out on this one.
Should do a quick check for the ground. I guess a survival check.
Wasn't
See if anyone's
Tarkees
around. See if it looks like there's anyone that's been nearby recently.
Good catch.
I'll just put that back up later.
Saved your life, Alex.
Saw something falling towards me. I was like, ah!
It's my fault.
Oh,
Just
okay.
curious, how do you spell Tarkees?
Like the bar. Turquoise.
Do just for notes, probably Tarkeese.
K-E-S-E?
Yeah. I'll have to. It's in my notes, and it's taking forever to load Google Docs.
Alright. T-A-R...
Survival check, right?
Right. Yeah, before we start reading too hard, just be sure we're not gonna hit anyone. I think that's 13.
Because of how the new stonework around the wagon has kind of been set up, you can't see your own tracks behind you. You can't really it's clean. It's very it manages itself. You don't have to worry about scrubbing it or anything like that. At one point, you could take a little bit of dust off your shoulders from the road, and it just would hits the ground, and it just kind of sinks in, and then it becomes that beautiful polish again.
Sniff the air.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, back to reading.
After rating. Cameron, roll a perception check for me.
That was a bad roll. Fuck your dice. 18.
18. So you start heading out, looking, heading towards a wagon, but you decide to take a look back and up at the obelisk. The obelisk is floating up above its pillar, and it's slowly spinning.
You sure?
Hey guys, was the obelisk floating before?
Definitely not.
There was the thing, right?
No.
Well, I mean, everything's floating for you right now. But, yeah, that's new.
And as you say that, turning around from one side of the wagon is a stone golem, almost.
Oh no.
About the size of a stout human, about 5 feet. Walking through the wagons, just kind of like looking around, and then he makes eye contact with you.
What's up, friend? Hey guys, I made a new friend.
Oh, nice!
Oh!
Oh, you like songs?
I sort of like go run up to him and I sort of like get close to him and sort of be like, oh, and like touch hands.
Not intentionally.
Does it look like a stone golem? Bork, 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 bork.
I don't know.
That's my fault.
Poor Jojo.
So yeah, the golem kind of like is looking at you very curious. It looks like it was carved to look like it's in servant uniform. It's got like the details of like, kind of like, best way to describe it is, you know when you go and see like a attendant at like a poker table, they've got like the rolled up sleeves and like the vest. It's kind of like that attire, but it's all kind of like carved in stone. But he's like this gray stone with the carvings and stuff on it, and it's just kind of like curious, almost like it's been hit on the head, kind of like dazed and confused, but not really hostile. Just kind of like
I offer it
wondering.
a pint.
And I like show him and I like raise the glass to him and then take a drink.
Eats the entire mug.
All right. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Captain.
That was the funniest thing I have seen in a
Yeah.
long time.
I never tried to drink a beer like that before. Yeah.
I'm gonna second his question. Is the obelisk like sharp?
No, it's about the same wear and tear on it,
Oh wow.
but it seems like you've almost like turned it on.
Okay. We go from here. Gosh. Do you guys think we should maybe go check out the?
Like more questions than I can possibly.
Or do we keep this journey going? Do we have enough supplies to do so?
As you say, as you guys are kind of collected and talking and figuring out what to do with this golem, as well as these wagons and everything, you hear kind of like a soothing bell chime coming from the obelisk. It's not like a metallic, but it's more like kind of a soft ring, but it gets your attention. It's not loud, but it's very prominent. And then it says, "The market will be closing in 15 minutes for the day. All hail Tarkees." And then the golem kind of looks at the thing and it starts heading towards the obelisk.
Follow him.
My friend.
I follow him.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Wait for us, friend.
So you guys follow him up to the obelisk, and on the opposite end of where you found the staircase, the golem kind of like puts its hand up against part of the wall and pushes and causes like a little pressure plate to open, and another one of those staircases push in. Heading inside, you can see again like another dark little kind of catacomb area, kind of goes deeper than the one that headed into the kind of like mechanics chamber.
Wait. Market's gonna close in 15 minutes. How long is 15 minutes in this world? Who knows?
Did this seem like there was anything else to buy here?
One sec. I'm gonna run back and I'm gonna like grab one of the casks.
Strength check that shit.
I may be of academia, but I am still a dwarf. It's just an 11.
You're able to. Can't get one of the big casks, but you find a tinier cask. So
I go over there, I help him, and I pour out another mug.
perfect.
We all pour out an extra round, so it's just light enough that he can carry it.
So you guys are running back, him with the keg, and everybody else will like Wait, no, you don't have a mug because you gave him your mug.
I stole his mug.
My
I
mug?
wasn't looking.
Okay.
Oh.
He doesn't drink beer. That's like plant water. He doesn't like that.
It's
Wait,
kombucha or nothing.
Fermented plant water.
Tea?
Fermented.
Shitty tea? Tea that someone left on the counter for a long time? So yeah, you guys run up and you guys catch up, and the golem's slowly working his way down the ramp. Are you guys gonna go in? You guys gonna watch? You guys
Yeah, I
gonna
mean,
drink?
like once we're in, I'll just like sit it down and follow him. That's just there in case.
Yeah. We
Emergencies.
got it before the market closed. So
Yeah.
So you guys follow in, and unlike the last chamber where it was just a straight shot in, this is like branching off. So every 10 feet or so, you'll see two pathways diverging from the side. But this golem is heading forward. Do you follow him going forward, or do you check one of the side passages?
wait. Is it lit? Is it like?
It's lit.
You still have your match in your hand, I assume.
Lady fresh.
Yeah, probably using first.
It's crunk.
Clowns.
So we just follow him, I guess, for the time being.
Yeah.
Seems
I
like he knows
wouldn't-
what he's doing.
Yeah, we gotta follow our
Kind
new
of
friend.
Kind of double back. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty straight line. We should be able to find our way out.
Keep track.
I say we should hopefully be able to find our way out.
So you guys keep going. You pass the kind of passageways, and then another 15 feet, another set of passageways, left and right, branch off. This time, instead of heading straight, it takes a left and starts heading to the left through this passageway.
To the left, to the left.
Right.
Everybody in the passage to the
Now,
left.
in this passageway, I would like everybody to roll a perception.
I perceive
24.
15.
6.
Everybody over 12 notices that there are alcoves. And each one of these alcoves seems to have a slumbering golem, just like your friend. They're just asleep, inactive, and they're just waiting. Eyes closed, just... Your friend, though, is heading towards an empty one towards the end of the hall and to the right, where he kind of stands there, settles down, kind of gets into the same position, and then just kind of rocks back into the little alcove.
There's the Borg.
This is some druidic thing. Oh shit. Is there any other paths continuing, or is this like the room?
This is just like
So-
one golem room.
It's like one straight path, and then it's like a row, and then a row, and then in your path, he's like in one of these alcoves in the row.
Interesting.
Doubling back. Is it like more rows of golems?
Yeah, checking each one. There's just there's some alcoves where there's destroyed golems, like ones that have just fallen over. It seems like this was just a storage bay for these kind of like golem servants that happen to be around. But this is the only one that seems to. Your friend was the only one that seemed to be active.
Double back. Once he he's shut down, right?
I mean, my guess
Sleeping like a rock.
at this point would
Hey.
be that this used to be a much more active market, and these were the servants, the golems, or whatever they are.
Security
that kinda,
guards or something.
ran me up. I'm sure. Do you look at some of the golems? They look like they're carved in different attire.
They all seem to kind of be wearing the same little uniform. You do notice that some of them that are in better condition than your friend look to have some sort of like ranking marking, and some of them do seem to have different kind of like features about them. Like one of the rows seem to be more servant oriented. Some of them have bigger fists. Some of them have smaller, more elaborate hands. Some of them, so they kind of like are classified in 4 different like sections. Like servants, almost like bouncers, kind of like heavy lifting, and then like builders. Some of them have like a trowel and like a hand, so they can kind of like be used to like maintenance and stuff.
Like, touch one?
You touch one. Put your hand on it. It's very cold. Nothing happens. You do notice that in the builder area there seems to be more like missing the golems than the other areas. A lot of them kind of filled back in, but this one in particular, I would say like 1 in every 4 like alcoves is empty, and then you have like the resting like kind of builders.
Magic.
There's a floating obelisk, bro.
Yeah, I mean, we're below it right now. And we see a bunch of golems, so I'm just curious, like, if anyone is, like, active more than the other.
Yeah.
So there isn't any active magic, because golems take a large burst of magic and then they just become sentient beings. They're not emitting any magic. So you kind of get the hum of the obelisk, and that's really about it down here.
Is the obelisk still? I mean, has it been 15 minutes? Is the market closed? Is the obelisk
You've
still
been
humming?
down there for about 5 or 6. You haven't heard any messages or anything come from the obelisk or the kind of main area.
Do we want to? My
Be in
fear
here when it closes?
Yes.
Yeah, not sure. Not sure we should stay.
I mean, worst case scenario, we're stuck in here until it opens up tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we don't know when tomorrow is.
Well, I mean, if it closes in 15 minutes, I don't know, maybe a couple hours.
Yeah.
Give us some time to explore down here.
I think we should head back to base camp. Our best goal would be to secure these wagons, bring them back to base camp, and use them, whatever resources we could find. But that's just me. I'm also kind of, as the quartermaster, thinking that would be our best course action.
Did we notice any other types of wagons like in the bazaar, like maybe like a blacksmith wagon or
down here?
Like,
Or
still like when we were upstairs in the bazaar.
You could it would take a little bit of investigation, but you're thinking that there's all like a whole assortment. Like I think
We could basically find like a wagon for any kind of
preserved foods,
Okay.
like tools, like anything you can think of like at a medieval like Ren Fair like style like wagon trading like area.
That's gonna seem like that's gonna be for this journey might be the best bang for our buck. I'm not necessarily trying to solve the obelisk mystery right here. I think maybe we go back and we
off this island.
yeah. Maybe,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like maybe we see a different obelisk. Maybe try to take it from there.
I mean, I think I agree with Camper. We should probably head back to camp because, like, just the fact that it is no longer sunset is a pretty big development. So we should probably head back and see if we can get any other people because, what's her name?
Marcella?
Marcella, yeah, she said she was going to help us out after we got to the first obelisk.
Hopefully the townspeople aren't freaking out right now.
Or hopefully
Hopefully they're still
they're
there.
still there and, like, not 100 years. Like, backwards in time. I don't know, like,
Babies!
maybe we might run into baby Camper or baby Marcella. Well, the Camper's here, so I don't think that's possible. But, like, yeah, we might run into, like,
I do not want to go back to camp and just see a bunch of fetuses on the ground. That'd be terrifying.
well, no, like, older generation. There's gonna be other people there. Like, maybe. I don't know. We should probably find out, though.
Time is weird.
Have you noticed that these move a lot like the little trinkets that Marcella makes?
I did notice that. But they're rock, not metal.
Right.
Is it fair to ask for a knowledge? Well, I hate asking for direct rolls, but like around golems as a studied arcane.
That would be something arcane, yeah. Go and roll.
Is that right? Just like
Yeah.
know what I would know in character about golems.
And I'm going to have to ask you a question in return.
Keep your gun down.
That's
Dungeons and Dragons!
it's 18.
So the question I ask you is, where did you get your training as a wizard? Where did you kind of, was it more like personal study, going to a college,
Wizard
mentoring?
Let me pull up a document.
Where is Wizard Hut?
I got my certificate online. It's
I have an answer for you. I just haven't
wizardry.com.
checked it in a long time.
No, it's totally good. We'll cut ahead to when we find that. He went to ITT, Technical Institute for Wizards.
Yeah.
And then a week before he was supposed to get his diploma, you find out, oopsie doodle, they're going out of business. And all assets are being seized. And then there's just...
Is this a personal story, Dusty?
No, but I just remember always seeing the ITT Tech.
Yep. Or generally any for-profit college.
Yeah.
It's just like, ooh.
My
No
college.
offense. No offense.
Hey, I got my dude. Got the fuck out.
Yeah. Good on ya.
So we were talking to Jordan at lunch today, and speaking of just horror stories, we were talking to somehow we got on the talks about what's her name, Shirley Temple, and that old commercial you'd see where it's like the Shirley Temple DVD collection, and it's the song like
yeah.
animal crackers in my soup.
Yep.
And so I said it to him and Jordan's like, you found that too fast. And he's like, is this it? I'm like, yeah, it's like a 2-minute long commercial.
Oh my god.
He just noped me. He went, nope.
Didn't watch it.
Um,
Didn't want it.
Did you see it before when you were younger?
Probably.
Something that's like, I guess I've never discussed with you is like if
It's like
what
those
sort of
CD collections.
arcane
Yeah.
schools there are. 'Cause I have the reason why I went to it, but I just
Why
never
not just,
really
like,
have
so
it.
this
I
is
didn't want to like create
like
things in your world
albums, but,
outside
like,
of my
kids'
town, so like
So this is a perfect
Or like
opportunity
just, like,
for
just straight up
you
just,
guys to...
all jazz compilation like series of sorry.
No, you're all good. So this is a good kind of example. The reason why I asked him that is I'm trying to expand the world and your backstories as characters. So if there's a location or a kind of like event, like if there was like a war or like a city burning down, you guys can bring it up and we can add it to the story, and then like we can work together, add it to the world map of like if you're from out of the other world, stuff like that. So when I asked him like what kind of college did you go to, he didn't know, so we can make it up on the fly, or we can like incorporate that backstory. It doesn't have to be from Davenborrow. It could be from another country or town or.
I mean, I have like hometown, all that fun lore dump stuff behind it, but like, I don't know, like creating an arcane school or wizards education place of some sort.
So
it's like a big thing. I don't want to like encroach. So. It's like,
So is your character from Davenborrow? Did we establish that?
No.
No. All right. So we can talk about you went to the school and we can find out where it's located later.
Okay.
I think good thing. Do you have a name of the school?
I do not. Like that's a big thing to create. I don't want to like.
Yeah, we can talk about it later. But
Yeah.
like in a sense, your character did go to an arcane college. Was it a specialized one, or was it just a generalized like school of magic and mystery? Oop. Hold that thought.
Quickly on that topic.
Did you pick this
there
up
was
from the RPG book I got you?
Kind of, yeah. I'm also just taking.
There's one thing I saw on
The
the
camera
game.
was off.
What? Oh no! How much did we lose?
I don't know, but we have all the audio. Recorded.
There was a thing I saw on like the D&D subreddit where they talked about like how as a DM he gives each players like the opportunity to like claim that they know a guy. And then like you roll against it and like they gives the player an opportunity to like come up with like a kind of like a side character that pertains kind of to their backstory.
I see.
And kind of depending on how they roll kind of determines on how that plays out, but that just is like another tool that he kind of uses to allow people to kind of like flesh out more of who they are and who they come from.
That's one of those things where like you can. I mean, I probably should have sent you everything I wrote up, but like just because then it's like.
The book in question is the Ultimate RPG Character Backstory Guide
by James D'Amato. Can be bought on Amazon. Also, he has a RPG gameplay guide about cool ways to roleplay.
Not sponsored, but it's his friend. So.
Yeah, it's a guy I know. He does improvised D&D and other role-playing podcasts.
That's cool. Here, so we can take a quick look. But no, I'm just trying to build up the story more because, unfortunately, I kind of shoehorned you into Black Iron Ducks. I shoehorned you kind of into this world, and I didn't give you guys a chance to really build your characters a little bit more. So I'm trying to do that in other subtler ways.
I don't know if he talks about it at all in that book, but there's a thing that they do in one of the podcasts that I listen to where Basically, everybody that plays in that podcast is an improviser, and they do this thing from I forget what the form is called, but there's a form of long form improv where everybody's sort of like, oh, we're in this room, and everybody sort of like takes turns listing a detail, some interesting detail about that room, and so like. If we were to like say come into a new city, you can go around the table and ask each one of us like, what's an interesting detail about this city, and like it sort of just like adds a collaborative effort from like the whole party to sort of being like all building this world together.
Right.
So
Cool.
yeah,
Let me go check on the recordings that my computer turned off. But yeah, it's very interesting. So yeah, give us a little bit of details of like what you learned at the academy, and then we'll go from there.
what'd you learn at Wizard School?
Well, since my arcane, like,
What I learned at Wizard School is
this one time at band
Magic
camp,
missile.
I mean, like, I'm in transmutation wizard.
Yeah, nice.
So fuck, like, I have like this whole thing read out that's like everything leading up to this, so I don't have anything. I have to pretty much come up with this.
Send it to me and I'll work it in.
But like, I don't know if it's like, is it an entire school of transmutation, or is it like?
It's up to you.
We can flesh it out later.
Yeah,
The broad strokes
This
is
is an open world. Like this is like you could build on Dusty's world. Don't be afraid.
these
to.
golems used a bit of transmutation magic to be created, so they weren't like. It takes a lot of magic, a lot of money, and a lot of power to create a stone golem.
Yes.
As stone golems are very, very potent creatures. Once they're made, they are forced to serve one being and one being only. They are very loyal. They're not like you write like the Jewish kind of like interpretation where you write the instructions they have to follow to a T. They are more like they're more sentient.
Good reference.
But they are very like they have one goal. Serving their goal kind of gives them like a dopamine boost. So example, like one of the
Makes them real hard because they're rock.
Not always. Well, these ones are, but yeah.
but yeah, so like the worker ones, you for example, building and fixing stuff would give them that kind of satisfaction to continue doing their job. It's a way to keep them in line, and you can kind of tell from their construction that this was not a shoddy job. This was like step-by-step instructions on how to make these things. They're very uniform. It's like almost like there was like a factory of wizards sitting there day in and day out pumping magic into these things because there's
Pumping that magic.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, that too.
magic.
Practicing my cantrips.
It just at first I thought like they had like one of those
Pumping
like,
magic
weird
to the
times.
80s.
But these are overall like very
Pumping that magic to dick.
sophisticated transmutations, like created golems, and it's impressive. Like you've only seen one or two in very, very late stage classes as examples of like high end spell stuff that a lot of wizards would have to spend years and years and years, and they kind of bring them out as an example at school of like, here's what you can strive for. These can be your servants, and you have one rich snooty dude that has one under his conscript in the halls and stuff like that. But
So
so
it's
it's like
These cost like 50,000 gold plus each.
add an additional 0.
So it's like if somebody were to go to like a trade show and see all this awesome, cool technology on display, and then here it is just in this marketplace that is just like it's just fucking there, and be like, who the fuck is pumping this money into this place?
Yeah. And as you're kind of like explaining it to him here, the market is now closing. Slave curfew in effect. Please be careful out there. It is a dangerous night. All hail Tarkees.
I'll have Tarkees.
I think I found his room.
You think you found his room?
Tarkees's.
How
He use it to fool a golem.
Wait, what? Tarkees is dragon.
Wait, is he?
Tarkees
Is
is a
he?
dragon?
What's Tarkee? Who's Tarkees?
Tarkees is
I found a
We
room.
live in
with his-
Tarkadia.
I found a.
Oh.
Oh wait, we
I
have
found
talked
a
about
wagon
that
with his picture inside. If it's his stuff, maybe the golems would listen to us.
We would have talked about that with Razden before, right?
Razden gave you the rundown that Tarkees was the dragon god.
That's right. Okay,
Mm.
so we do know who Tarkees is.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was called Tarkir, but again,
Our characters do, but yes.
yeah, your character too. He doesn't. He doesn't even know dragons exist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, in case you didn't, in case you
We're
didn't
stuck
know,
here anyway.
that guy you were talking to earlier on my ring phone,
Mhm.
he was a dragon,
You didn't mention that.
Yeah, no, he's totally cool. He doesn't typically mention that kind of thing. He hasn't eaten us yet, so as far as we're concerned, he's a pretty cool dragon.
He doesn't like to brag about his dragonhood.
I mean, I got dragon on speed dial, it's no big deal.
You can see him. I'm a dragon.
Dragon man.
Well, alright if you say so.
Yeah, just so you know. It might come up again. I don't know. He was talking about how,
So Tarkees was the dragon god who he betrayed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, to kind of give you a refresher on that, Razden was a member of what he called the Obsidian Order.
That's right.
They were like a hitman of like elite dragons from different breeds of dragons, where they were kind of like assassins. He being a black dragon, kind of being like a very high-ranking noble. He went out of his way to kind of upset Tarkees and overthrow him during a time of like civil unrest during like a slave rebellion, causing the downfall of the Dragon Empire. And as like the last act, the dragons imprisoned Razden inside of his own dragon form and hide him underground as like punishment. And that's when you found him.
But he was a dark elf. But he looked like a dark elf instead. Okay. I convey that to Grur.
And lore dump of golems.
Cam's sitting there like forgetting, like
yes.
forget he's
yes,
just like,
yes.
holy shit, by the 9 gods. That is
Some wicked cool shit.
it's terrifying. If you're saying it's true that dragons are coming out and we're stuck on this island and it's infested with dragon golems and architecture and they could be running around over here hiding, waiting for the moment to strike.
I mean, this island, if the talking weird obelisk thing means anything, we are like in some weird pocket time dimension. I don't know. But maybe there's dragons here the whole time.
Imagine this like, little goblin talking about time dimensions.
As you can see, he pulls out like a chalkboard and he's just like, time is a circle. And he just ends it.
It's Jeremy Barney.
It's a Tuesday afternoon.
But what's the dot? Everybody knows about the dot.
It's Tuesday afternoon, right?
Yes, the time knife. We've all seen it.
If you haven't watched The Good Place,
It's so good.
so good.
Alright, well, there's nothing we can do with these. Like, we might as well poke around here. Why don't we check
Let's-
the entrance?
You double back, make
See
sure
if
we're not
it's-
locked in.
And if we
here.
I thought
are,
we walked out.
we'll make the most of
You
it.
guys walking out as you're talking.
Okay, so we're okay. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
We didn't walk out before the market is now closed thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now you're heading out. The door isn't like closing on you or anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool,
I
cool,
thought we were
cool,
still
cool.
like touching columns and stuff.
But
We were, I
the
guess.
voice said be careful, whatever that means.
You did.
It's dangerous. out
We
there.
were already being careful. It was already dangerous.
Is there anything
We know.
out there?
Perceive. I like that's a new
Well, I
hand
guess it's not a real
gesture.
crit, because
15.
23.
Oh.
Just do this.
14.
24.
So as you guys are walking out, you can hear the sound of another one of those passageways opening up. From
The evil golems.
No. Sentry golem. Just
Oh,
like tinier versions of the ones you saw before.
Tinier.
Kind of
Tinier from the gigantic sentries we've
Right.
seen before.
I thought.
When everything
okay.
was sunset.
I thought it was compared to the
right.
ones we were just.
So you got the big ones, but this one again. But their eyes are focused. They're kind of like filing out. They're getting in kind of like little like patrol squads, and they're heading out in different directions on what they presume are roads. You do also notice that they are heading out on newly established roads that weren't on the island before. Same beautiful cobblestone, and they're heading in different directions. One of them heading towards the camp. And as you kind of are standing there looking, one of them walks up, and it looks at you and goes, "Identification, please."
All hail Tarkees!
All hail Tarkees. Identification, please.
All hail Tarkees!
Tarkees.
Former servants to Razden before his betrayal. Looking for reassignment.
Anger.
Captain's just sitting there, just like, He kind of like looks at you. I don't know in this situation. Looks at you. Looks at all four of you. You're free to go. Except for you. Where's your slave identification?
I'm no slave. I'm Grur.
You do not have a brand of your dragon. Identify yourself.
Grur.
Gruer hit his head recently. Gruer has been with us for some time.
He hasn't been branded yet for Razden. Well, Razden betrayed us, so he wouldn't be branded under Razden, but he has yet to receive his brand.
It was a weird timing overlap.
Kind of looks over at Camper.
The paperwork wasn't all in order.
This one is also unidentified.
He was included with us.
Choose one.
Don't you Sophie's choice. That's what you're doing.
Wait, this is the golem talking? Or the sentry?
Choose one.
Choose one for what?
For what?
Collateral.
I
Camper's
point-
just kind of like,
I point to the keg.
we must take one in for processing and the other one as a message.
There's a man in the keg. Take him.
He kicks the keg and it just...
Not the gang.
Camper holds up his hands. I'll go.
No. Let's
No?
all go.
He only needs one.
No.
If we're gonna go for processing, I'll probably be able to find where the others are
No idea
taken.
what processing means.
I don't either, but this is the best lead I have to find the ones that were taken.
Cancer, we don't know how fast these things can run.
No. It's Paladin's duty to sacrifice himself in case of a choice like this.
I can drop kiss this thing. Grab. Blah.
Drop kiss!
I can drop kiss this thing. We just get the fuck out of here.
He's like, no. He turns to the golem and he's like, I'm going to leave voluntarily. He's like, fine. And then, really kind of like in a weird kind of like action, the golem like puts its hand on Camter's chest, and Camter just slumps over. It's like, not dead, he just kind of like,
Pass up or lay on hands.
huh. You want some laying hands? My fist to your face?
Catch on hands. Catch on these hands.
Yeah, damn, that's better.
Is it you like hump like
Kind of like slumps over.
comes over? Okay. And does he just start turning away?
Yeah, he just picks him up, and a couple others kind of like are carrying Camper off in the direction on the other end of the island.
We have to follow. We have no other leads right now. This might just take us to a spot we can learn something.
Yeah, and like otherwise, what? We're gonna go back to the camp without Camper.
I don't think the camp's there, guys.
I mean, true, but like, what?
Yeah.
There was,
Sorry, Camper got taken away by a couple centuries.
but also, I mean, there were ruins where the camp was before, so like, maybe there's camp, but it's like ancient. The ruins are like no longer ancient, and there's like
alright.
actual people there. I don't know.
Here's the plan.
Okay.
We retrieve the keg.
There's more kegs. There's more kegs, Fiber. We can get more kegs.
Look, I value your priorities, but in one shifted over.
Okay, we follow them.
We come back for the cake.
Come back for the keg. Okay.
Yeah, how fast are they moving?
Where are they
It
going?
leisurely walks.
Where are they going? Are they like still going away from the obelisk?
So-
And they're like,
They're kind of going. If the camp is on the west side of the island, they're heading to the east side of the island.
Where is this brand? Where do you have this on
This was. They're all out at your side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like no saving dress. We're.
Improv.
we fucking lied.
We don't have a brand.
We
But
just-
if anyone asks you, just say you worked for Razden.
Razden.
Past tense. That was a gamble. Just say just worked, not work.
Yeah.
Because work might get you killed. So, let's just follow them for now. All right.
Should we sneak? Should we just follow? Or
Is it a steady line of sentries going that way, or is it like?
Yeah, there's like a 3x3 kind of like grid of them in the center. They're holding Camper as they kind of like.
But like behind them and in front of them, are there more just like continually?
No, they're
followed?
just like heading down each kind of like newly emerged pathways. Is like 9 golems kind of like patrolling out.
Could we realistically follow the one with Kimter?
The jungles are still around.
So they're just like cutting through shit.
No, so think of it this way: when you guys are, so the same kind of like stonework kind of that took over like the circular area around. The same kind of stonework also is branching out. Like the roads have been reestablished.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we could follow like
You could follow them in the jungles as they take like the main path.
Are there any more wagons that are between us and them?
A couple. No.
I say we. Yeah.
There is enough cover if you guys want to roll a stealth check to kind of get your way from the wagons to.
That's a good idea. I was thinking we raid the wagons on our way out if they're not moving too fast.
Shit. But I think that's a good place to stop. You kind of have an objective for the next issue. Where are you gonna roll? Where are you rolling?
I don't know.
Where are you rolling? You have to tell me now. If you roll, you have to tell me.
I was
It's a DM roll.
No.
You can't lie.
Perception for wagons.
I already. Oh, is that?
There's wagons.
Well,
18.
are we gonna? How are we gonna use wagons if we don't have horses?
We were just
No,
gonna
I'm not
loot
saying.
from
Oh,
See
okay.
if there's anything
Just
useful in them that we can grab real quick.
I
If
tried
they're
to.
not moving too
Actually, yeah,
fast.
you said there's like all kinds of different wagons in here. I'm gonna see if there's like a blacksmith wagon. I'm gonna go see what kind of armors and weapons might be available.
Well, wait, if we spend too much time looting, we might lose the.
Yeah. I'm going just.
Oh
I'm
shit, you're right.
following straight
That,
after.
that is the conundrum I'll leave you for the next episode.
Okay.
Do you save your companion, or do you go back to camp to get help? Find out next time on Dusties and Dragons. And don't forget to
Like and subscribe.
Oh yeah, like a go ahead and give us a like.
welcome.
Are we clapping? Should we all clap?
No, because he did the stupid Macho Man. Fucking dicks.
Your faces are getting red and sweaty enough.
He's way too good at that.
The newest rap sensation.
DJ.
How do you spell that?
You know,
S-P-E...
Couple dollars.
S-P-P-P-F-F-F-F-F-S-S-S.
Some H's in there,
H.
probably.
Yeah,
At least one.
at least one H.